I'm Danielle Smith, talking about Penn State. Penn State's football program was all but dismantled by the NCAA's sanctions yesterday. They gave based on the Sandusky trial and the Free Report, which listed off a series of infractions and the amount of time that it is believed Joe Paterno actually knew about all of the accusations against Sandusky and did nothing about it, as well as a number of higher ups at the school. So instead of giving the school what is unofficially referred to as the death penalty, which would have halted the football program altogether, they issued a series of sanctions that are quite severe. So at the end of this, what I really want to know from you, comment for me, if you will, are these sanctions that are issued against Penn State, are they too severe? Are they just right? Are they not enough in your opinion? So the school gets a $60 million fine. That money is apparently just about what Penn State earned based on the revenue from their football program. That money will go into an endowment to help victims of child abuse and child abuse prevention programs, but the money apparently cannot be used to fund those programs at Penn State. In addition to that, there are 112 wins of Penn State's that will be vacated. So that doesn't mean they count as losses, they just don't count altogether. In addition to that, scholarships are lost. So instead of being allowed 85 scholarships, they will only be allowed 65 scholarships. They're losing 20, which is pretty serious because they can't give out those additional scholarships. So also, the Big Ten says, because for the next 4 years, Penn State isn't eligible to play in the postseason, so no bowl games. And the Big Ten says during that time, they won't be eligible to earn any of the revenue as a result of those bowl games. And that's roughly a $13 million loss for the school. We're talking about a lot of things that are happening. And in addition to that, all of the football players who are at the school now are eligible to leave at will. They can leave right now, they can leave next year. So you have Bill O'Brien, who was brought in as the coach to replace Joe Paterno. He has quite a road ahead of him. As a football fan, as a college football fan, as someone who was horrified by watching the Sandusky trial, I am not shocked that this happened this way. I initially suspected they would get the death penalty, but then after reading a lot of the information, I understood that the reason the NCAA, based on what I read, decided not to go with the death penalty, they believed this because these were ethical violations and not necessarily NCAA official violations, and they didn't want to set a precedent in that direction. But I did read one particular sentence, and they said, this was from the NCAA president, and he said the sanctions need to reflect our goals of providing a cultural change. And that makes sense to me because this whole thing was so horrifying. And then when the Free Report came out, to find out that Paterno had known for all of those years about the accusations against Sandusky just absolutely turns my stomach. Of course, people, from what I have heard, I watched ESPN ad nauseum last night, so many former players, former linebackers, former quarterbacks that played for Penn State, this is painful to them. And they keep saying, these kids, the kids at the school, the kids on the team, this doesn't have anything to do with them. So why punish them? That would be the opposition's, in a nutshell, their opinion. So tell me what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because I would love to be hearing from you on a regular basis. I'm Danielle Smith. Tell me, Penn State's sanctions from the NCAA, too severe, just right, not enough?